गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं दा गोविंद। जय सद्गुरु स्वामी की, जय आंजनेय स्वामी की। ओम सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। Respected devotees, we are now going to have an 1 hour and 50 minutes time to have a quick look at the teachings of the Upanishads vis-a-vis that of Sreemad Bhaagavatam. We all would have heard this sloka, Nigama kalpataror galitam mahaphalam sukamukhad amritadrava samyutam. So, Srimad Bhagavata is, in fact, the essence of Vedas. Vedas have been depicted as a kalpataru. Kalpataru is a tree which is in Swagaloka and which will yield all the wishes of those people who go near it. And this Srimad Bhagavata is something more than that. It is not only the fruit of the Kalpataru, but it is the fruit that have been tasted by the great parrot Shuka. Parrot has got a very peculiar quality of finding out the really tasty fruit and just taste it. If you want to have a good fruit that is ripe and that is really tasty, you should choose a fruit that has been tasted by a parrot. Similarly, there are so many mantras in Vedas and in Upanishads, and those mantras have been taken and given an easy, nice way of putting by Sri Shuka Maharshi, and that is Bhagavata. When I say Bhagavata, I mean it is Bhagavat Sambandhi. From very beginning sloka to the end, you will find only the Krishna Nama. You will find only the essence of the Upanishads and nothing more. Because it is this grantha that has been made for persons who require liberation, not for ordinary things. Worldly pleasures. You do Dasapurnamasa yaga, you do this yaga, that yaga, Vedas say. That's why in Bhagavad Gita you have Traividya Vishaya Partha, Traigunya Vishaya Partha, Tvam Nistraigunnyo Bhava. All the people in the world are seeking only worldly pleasures. Worldly pleasures are transitory. Those pleasures that we would like to have them with all our difficulties, finally they become transitory. Only for some time they give you pleasure. But the Paramananda, Purnananda, that you will get only by becoming Bhagavan, by surrendering to the Bhagavan. And what this surrender is, there is a big Shastra, what you call Sharanagati Shastra. And that Shastra has all been given in the Bhagavad Gitas and the Upanishads, and finally they have been actually made to understand by us in the Srimad Bhagavata. It is not necessary that you should have the knowledge of all Shastras. It is enough you have a pure mind. the mind which is ready to be given up. When you say that I am offering namaskarams to Bhagavan, still there is one I ego. I am offering myself, still there is an ego. So, you should reach that stage where your ego itself falls down. Which Upanishad says, Vidyate hridaya grandhihi chidyante sarva samshayaha kshiyante chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. So, Vidyate hridaya grandhihi, even the ego, the various impressions in your mind should go out. When it will go out, tasmin drishte paravare. When you see that, when you realize that great Bhagavan, who is that Bhagavan? Who is residing in your own heart. He is not in Vaikuntha, he is not in Kailasa, nor any other place, but he is everywhere. When I say everywhere, in fact, in your heart. If it is in your heart, why is it that I am not able to see that Bhagavan? He is inside. He is inside me. It is very near me. Very near to everybody in the world. Then, even though I close my eyes and try to look at the Bhagavan inside, I am not able to see. It's because of the darkness which I see when I close my eyes. You be in the open in the open playground, still close your eyes. You find only darkness, sir, and not that light. And not only myself, you may say that I may not be qualified. I am asking everybody in the world, did you see Paramatma? Did you see Paramatma? The answer is no. Then, what is it that obstructs us not to see the Paramatma? Upanishad says that you have got a tendency of looking only outside. Your sense organs have been directed outside, and that's why you are not able to see inside. Bhagavan is inside and outside. He can be seen first in the inside only, in the heart only, but your sense organs have been directed outside. Paranchikha nevyadrinat swayambhu tasmat parang pasyati nantaratman. Sense organs have been directed outside. That's why everybody is looking only outside. And when you look him inside, then when you look inside, when you turn your sense organs, then you will be able to see that. How to do that? How to see that? You'll have to catch hold of a guru. Catch hold of the feet, holy feet of the guru. And then hear from him the Upanishadic truths. And those truths have been given in the Bhagavata also. You should hear. Not only merely hearing like a music. Sangeetakam saikatavari. It goes to one ear and goes away in another ear. You hear a best performance for 1 hour or 2 hours. Finally, when you go home, your wife asks, what song did he sing? You just say one line. How did he sing? No, it's not possible for me to explain. You have to come and hear that. Similarly, here, you will have to hear. Not only hear, you will have to do manana. Atmavare drashtavyaha, shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. It has not only be to heard and then meditated upon. Make it yourself. Yes, you should have that experience. And that experience will come when your mind is free from all other problems. And when your mind is free from the oscillations. Mind is always wavering for everybody, which we ourselves know it. You just close your eyes, try to control your mind, then you will say it is acting like a monkey. But you will have to stop the mind. When you can achieve that, then it is possible for you to understand Brahman. How to achieve the tranquility of the mind, equanimity of the mind. Various methods have been given. One is Hatha Yoga and the other is Raja Yoga. And finally here we say, you hear the words of the Guru with attention. There's a story in Upanishads. Yajnavalkya had 2 wives. One is Maitreyi and the other is Katyayani. When Maitreyi and Katyayani, they were going on well. But one day Yajnavalkya, he thought that he should renounce this world. Because I have earned a lot of money. I have got good knowledge of all the Vedas and have produced very good Shishyas. For all these things, I am actually have the knowledge of the Brahman, but I want to be in a lonely place. I do not want to be obstructed by all these worldly things. So let me renounce. He is a Jivan Mukta, but still he wanted, yes, let me renounce. Then he called his wife, Maitreyi, and said, I am going to divide both the whole money I have into two. One part to yourself and the other portion to Katyayani's second wife. Right. Katyayani was just keeping quiet. He did not utter a single word. Then Maitreyi, she actually asked him one question. Yes, I am agreeable to this, but only one question I ask you. I am in need of liberation. Will I be able to get liberation with the money that you are going to give to me? Simple question. Then he says, Amrutatvatu nashasti vitteneti. Amrutatvasya tu nashasti vittena. With all the money in your hand, you can never think of getting liberation. But what can you have that? With that money, what you can have? Yatha upakarana jivitam tadaiva te jivitam syat. Yes. You can have a nice life. You can have a refrigerator, you can have a big LCD TV, etc., etc. You can have a very nice car, a big bungalow, etc., all those things. But liberation not possible. Mokshamiche janardanat. Only if you have the bhakti, achanchala bhakti, nishkinchana bhava, then only you can get the liberation, not any other thing. Then she prostrated to the Yajnavalkya and asked, tell me that. I am not interested in the money. Then Yajnavalkya says, right, I am going to teach you, but one thing, Shraddhasva, Yehi Nididhyasasva, Upavisha, sit down, I will tell you, but Nididhyasasva. Read carefully what I say. Hear carefully. Make it yourself. Then you will be able to understand and able to experience it. Then he teaches everything. Atmavare drashtavya srotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavya. With all examples he taught. And what happened? At the end she went to the samadhi. She had forgotten her gross body. She is in samadhi. Then Yajnavalkya says he went out for announcing. See, by merely hearing about the Bhagavan, about the Atman, where is Bhagavan? He is in your heart. In the deep caves of your heart, he is there. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshe arjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rodhani mayaya. He is in your heart. That Atma you should understand, you should see, that could be got only by hearing through the words of the Guru. That is very important. It is not mere words, they are the words surcharged with the tapas of the Guru. That's why in Sreemad Bhaagavatam you have Yemaya Guruna Vacha Taratyanjo Maharnavam. Yemaya Guruna Vacha. It is not merely Guru. It is the words of the Guru that makes things to act. All these things are printed in the books. The whole Vedas are printed. But not those printed words will work on you, sir. It is only those words which have come from the tongue of the Guru. They have got the magical effect of changing all your minds and finally make it look into the truth. And this has been given very nicely at different parts of the Sreemad Bhaagavatam. And I say at different parts, in fact from beginning to the end, all the 12 skandhas of the Srimad Bhagavata only refers only to the Vedic Upanishadic passages. Just now you heard the Veda Stuti. All the total portion of all the Vedas have been, Upanishads have been condensed in one portion called the Veda Stuti, which the previous lecturer was explaining it very nicely in his own style. Right? From the very beginning, all the Upanishads truths have been dealt with in different forms in the Gajendra Moksha, in Rukmani Kalyana, in the 10th Skandha, various Leelas of the Bhagavan. You will find only the words of the Upanishads, the sentences of the Upanishads. To look at that, we should first read the Upanishads. We should first understand what the Upanishads say and then try to correlate. Then we will find every sloka in the Srimad Bhagavata is nothing but some reference to the truth of the Upanishads. Now, let us go through what the Upanishads say in brief. The word Upanishad means truth, the knowledge. Shadala Visharana Gati Avasadanayoho. This word Shadala in Sanskrit gives you three meanings. Loosening, one meaning. Then to move, another meaning. To cut asunder, that is the third meaning. Upa, ni, he who comes very near, he gets nischayena, certainly these three benefits. What is that? To move, then to loosen, and finally to cut away. What it does? First, it cuts away, it removes, it destroys the ignorance. That ignorance which makes us not to experience our own self, it cuts away. That's the first thing. You get that knowledge, it removes, which destroys the ignorance. And then it loosens also the various difficulties that we have in our house. The man is always on the haunts of a dilemma. He doesn't know what to do, to take up this path or that path. That happens right from very beginning, the moment you get up in the morning till end. Always there are problems to him. All these problems are assorted, settled. Only you try to understand the truth of the Upanishads. This is the second meaning. And the third meaning is, if you actually realize the soul, you need not go anywhere. You become a realized soul and be here itself. But if you get only Paroksha Jnana, then what will happen? You go to Brahmaloka, where Bhagavan stays in his various avatars. Then what you do? There, Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara, Sanat Sujata are there to teach you. And in the Brahmaloka, the truth is so clear, just like the shadow and light. So you will be able to understand that and get a realization in Brahmaloka. So, by Upanishad I mean that particular knowledge which loosens all other bonds and then which makes you to go to Brahmaloka after the fall of this gross body, and that gives you, that removes, that destroys the ignorance we had yearned from many, many thousands of births, which we called liberation. So, it is the fundamental meaning, fundamental truth that we have in the Upanishadic teachings. And those Upanishads, it starts from Ishavasya and ends with Brihadaranyaka. That's the way we read. In fact, both are Krishna Yajurveda. Ishavasya is the smallest Upanishad, and then rather simplest also. Mandukya is another smallest Upanishad, but one thing is, if you go on eating it, you go on reading it, even after 10 years it will appear to be very interesting. That's the greatness of Mandukya Upanishad. All these Upanishads teach about the truth, the absolute truth, the ultimate truth of yourself. When you say I, aham, 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 then what is this aham? Is it the gross body? Is it the senses? Is it the mind? What is that? When you try to probe into it, you will find all these are not I, but the real I is that which is the core of yourself, and that we call it as Brahman. So you started with I, you become what is I, where is I, Koham you started, and finally where you have stopped, where you have achieved, Soham, Saha Aham, Saha Aham, that Brahman is myself. So the answer to the question, to the quest Koham, ends with Aham Brahmasmi Soham. And these things have been dealt with in different Upanishads in different ways. And now, the sum total of all these Upanishads, when you actually go through, they teach you about the Brahman, the absolute, which is in the form of Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Anandam, Satyam, truth, Jnanam, knowledge, Anantam, endless, infinite, Ananda, which is the blissful nature. All these are your own nature. This is what the Upanishads try to put up. And that Brahman is same in all people here, in all people everywhere. In all the three words, this is the same Brahman residing at every heart. Just like the Akasha, which is only one in all the whole of earth. Whether you go to America or Australia or China or wherever, when you look above, you see only the space. That space is common. It's not one space for one body, another space for one body. You may go from here to that place, but the Akasha is same for you. Similarly, there is only one Atma in the hearts of all people. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hridaye. Remember that. So, how is it possible, sir? Each person is different, you ask. Upanishad gives you different explanations to suit different situations. Just like you take one moon on the skies, it gets reflected in different parts, and each part has got a reflection in it. Similarly, each human being has got a mind, and the Paramatman gets reflected in the mind. When the mind gets the reflection of the Paramatman, you call him Jiva. Why Jiva? Because he is able to catch the prana. Jiva prana dharane. And you have a mind, and the moment you have got this mind and the reflection there, you get a constrained form of the Paramatman within yourself, and you attach yourself with your body, with your mind, with our sense organs, all other things. My son, my father, my wife, my house, my car, etc. Everything you have added. But really the Paramatman is above all these things. There's no question of my, this, that, etc. And that is only one. In the beginning of the creation, only that Paramatman existed. Nothing more. The Upanishads say, Ekameva Advitiyam. They proclaim, yes, Ekameva Advitiyam. Sadeva Somya Idamagra Asit Ekameva Advitiyam. All these things were only one Paramatman. All these things did not take birth. They did not come. And from out of the Paramatman, the whole world has come. And there is no second object there. And you know how Paramatman is? He is divided of three kinds of Bhedas, differences. Is there difference in difference? Yes, sir. There are. Upanishads say, yes, there are differences in the difference itself. Now let us see, for example, you take a tree. The whole thing you call it as a tree. And that tree, even though it is one, how many trees there are? Only one. And within the tree you call it as a tree. Be careful, it is a tree. That means it is singular. But when I ask you and I touch the trunk, and ask you, what is this? Answer is tree. When you touch the roots and tell what is it? A tree. Once again you touch the branches, any one of the branches, yes, tree. When you take a leaf, yes, tree. When you touch a fruit, yes, it's also a tree. Remember, you were actually telling as a tree, as a singular object, but within the tree, there are so many differences. What are those differences? Internal differences as branches, as the trunk, as the roots, as fruits, etc., raw fruits, etc., etc. Now, here is a case where there is only one object as a tree, but within this there are so many differences. These I term it as internal differences. Similarly, there is one tree here, another tree there. This is a mango tree, there is a palmyra tree. But this is also a tree, that is also a tree, but there is a difference between these two trees. This we call it as sajatiya bheda. And then the third bheda is there is a tree and there is a parrot sitting on the tree. What I do, I just clap myself, the parrot runs away. But whereas a person who is actually trying to cut the tree cannot run away. Remember, there is a difference between the parrot and the tree itself. The tree cannot move from its place, but the parrot flies away when there is a smallest doubt for whether it is in danger. So now, we have seen there are three kinds of differences. One is internal difference, one is difference of the same tree, and the third one is different, another different set of difference which is entirely different from its own origin. Then we have sajatiya bheda, vijatiya bheda, swagata bheda. While in Brahman, you don't have all these three differences. That is why the Upanishad told it is something like ekameva advitiyam. Ekam eva advitiyam. No, it is one only, and only one without a second. And that is what Lord is. Lord is one only, and there is no second thing. Is natvat samosti abhyadika kutonyaha. There is no one even equal to you. And where there is a case of, why can I think that there can be another person different from you, sir? And that is what the summum bonum of Upanishads. Yes, the whole world, before the presence of the world, before the birth of the world, there is only one Chaitanya, one consciousness, and that one consciousness, we call it as Paramatman. And from that consciousness, all these words have come. If you want to cook, is it enough when you all are there? No. You require a stove, you require gas, you require various vessels, you require provisions, you require all other things. Then only you will be able to do. In fact, you may be a very good cook, very best cook, but still you require all these things. Without that you can't do. But when the Paramatman was there, when he wanted to create all these words, was there any instrument for him? No. Any other object with him? No. He alone existed. From out of his own self, he had actually created the whole world. There's nothing second one. Now, Sri Shuka wanted actually tell you this. Vedavyasa in his Srimad Bhagavata, he had given you two examples. One is, that is, without any help, he created all those things. With the Brahma Mohana Leela, what happened? Brahma came and took away all the cows there, all the cows, calves, etc. to his loka. Lord Krishna was eating with other friends. Bibradvedam jatarapatare, you got a beautiful sloka there. Right. In the meantime, one of the children, they saw, oh, where is our cows? I don't find any cows or calves here. Then Lord Krishna says, when you are eating, don't move. I'll go and find out. Lord Krishna went out And Brahma had taken it. He went to a far distance and then he had closed his eyes and saw, yes. This is the mischief created by Lord Brahma. He came here. By the time we came, while he was eating with his friends, all his friends were also not there. They were also there in the Brahmaloka taken by Brahma. He was only alone. How can he tell the mothers, the cows, yes, they are not available. I do not know where it is. When I say Lord Brahma took it, will they hear? Will they accept? No. What he did? He transformed himself as the cows. He transformed himself as those children. And then, not only that, every minute detail of the calf and every minute detail of the small children were actually be transferred by the Bhagavan, and he took them all in the night. See, there is no other instrument for him. He alone was there. Out of his free, sweet will, he had actually transferred us so many boys. Lord Brahma came after some time and he saw once again another set of those people whom he had taken away to the Brahmaloka. Then he had surrendered to Lord Krishna. The story goes. That is, as you have seen in the Upanishads, Lord Brahma, the Brahman Paramatman is only one. Ekameva Advitiyam. With his power of Maya, he had created the whole world. And then these worlds with myriad names and forms that are available is nothing but the Paramatman himself appearing as these names and forms. This I have told you. Another incident where all these things have been given, you can find in Draupadi Vastrapaharana. Draupadi was been called to the Sabha, where Dushasana started taking away her sari from her body. She said, to whom she can go for help? There are 5 husbands, and all those people have become dasas. They have been won over. And there are great people like Bhishma, Drona, all those people. Her cries did not have any effect on them. Bhishma says, Dharmasya sutshmam dharmaha janati. Which is dharma, which is not dharma, only Dharmaraja knows. We are helpless. What that great lady Draupadi could do? Krishnancha jishnuncha harim narancha pranaya vikroshati yajnaseni. That Yajnaseni says, hey Krishna, Dwaraka-natha, kindly help me. From Dwaraka, there is no time for you to come here to Kurukshetra and then to Hastinapura and then try to help me. From there itself you should help. Next second, the more and more he takes away the sari, another set of saris came. Now I ask you the question, how those saris have been manufactured? Is it in Mafatlal or in another company? How, sir? Where is the yarn? Where are the missions? How it came? It is the will of the Lord. When I say the whole world has come from the one single Paramatma, you have examples here. Remember how the great Vedavyasa could convert that into a story and give us. In the story form, we are able to understand very easily all those things. Similarly, there is only one Brahman who is without any differences and who is eternal. From the Brahman came the world, and these worlds have been at the end of Pralaya, at the end of deluge, goes into the Brahman itself. Yato va imani bhutani jayante yena jatani jivanti yat prayanti abhisambhishanti. All the words come out of the Brahman, they are in the Brahman, and finally they go into the Brahman itself. So, the words what we say now, all these universes are nothing but Brahman itself. Just you take the example of a golden bar. From that golden bar, you create many ornaments. Bracelets, bangles, chains, everything you make it. and finally you wear it. Finally you find all these things are of old fashion. You once again convert into gold. Now, all these ornaments, golden ornaments, came from the gold. When they are as ornaments, they are nothing but gold. And finally, when I have been made into golden bar once again, they are still golden bar. So, gold did not get changed in all the three times. Similarly, Paramatman, he never undergoes any change. He only creates the world. When the worlds are created, all this universe, all these different things in the world are with him. And finally, when he takes back, it is also Paramatman. So every atom, every speck is nothing but Paramatman itself. Nothing different than Paramatman. See, is bangle not gold? Is chain not gold? Is a ring not gold? Everything is gold. Similarly, anything made up of gold is gold. Anything came out of Paramatma is only Paramatman. Out of our ignorance, you make some things as good, you make something as bad. There is no question of friend, there is no question of enemy. Tulyo mitrari pakshayo tulya priya priya mauni. Bhagavad Gita says, yes, you should have this angle. Sarvam khalvidam brahma. Yavad vatsaka vatsapakam. The Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata says, everything is only Brahman. Nothing more than that. It's Lord Krishna himself as all cows, all children, everything there. This idea should come, which the Upanishad says, Sarvam khalvidam brahma tasmat shanta upasita. So, we have now came to the conclusion that there is one Brahman, only single Brahman, without a second, from which all these words have come, from him alone, through Maya, through ignorance, and so all these words are nothing but Brahman. And you may ask me one question, sir. Why Lord created me? Why should he create me? He had created, he could have created me as happy as he is. But he had created me with all sorts of differences, with all problems to me. From morning to evening I have all the problems. Why should I have created? Could not he have created a perfect world where there are no problems at all? Yes, he could have. But it is his play. You can't help. Upanishads say, yes, there were different people in the last deluge and they have had many different impressions, many different karma, and those, according to those karmas, he have given you one birth. But when he chose to give you a birth as a human being, he had he had granted a boon to you. What is that? Because he has created you as a human being, then it is a golden opportunity for you to reach him. It is only human being has got the best chance of reaching him by surrendering to a guru, by take refuge under the guru who will take him personally and make him Paramatman himself. So this only a human birth gets. Jantunam narajanma durlabham atah pumstvam tato viprata. It goes in a work, in a prakarana, work of Lord Shankara. So we find that a person through the teachings of the guru understands the truth of the Brahman as Nishkalam, Nishkriyam, Shantam, Niravadyam, Niranjanam. He is Nishkala without parts, Niranjana with no problems with him, and then Nishkalam, Nishkriyam. He never does any work. By his mere will everything happens. He is Shanta, he is Advaita, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam. Like that it goes. So, the universe came from the single Brahman. There are myriad names and forms that are available for us. Each one appears to be different. But finally, when it goes to the Lord, it becomes one at the time of deluge. If you by yourself take the refuge under to the Guru, under the holy feet of the Guru, and hear his teachings, probe into it, reflect onto it, meditate on it, you will find the Lord himself within yourself as non-different from yourself. This is the summum bonum of the Upanishadic teaching. So, when you say the Brahman is Nishkala, Nishkriya, Shanta, when all the words have come from out of him, and the Jiva, who is nothing but Brahman himself, was deluded by the Maya, and when he looks back through the words of the Guru, he becomes liberated. This is the total teachings of Upanishads which have been given in small verse, pithy verse by Lord Shankaracharya as Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Brahman alone is Satya, it is true. It's eternal truth. Absolute truth is Brahman. Jagan Mithya, the whole world as you see is illusion. It is illusory. Sir, it is, I can't understand how it can be illusion, because everything appears to be working well with my life. When I am hungry, what I do? I take food. And when I take food, I am satisfied. My hunger has gone. How do you say all these are illusions? It is apart, it is not in consonance with my day-to-day experience. You may ask a question. You have got answers to all those things in Sreemad Bhagavata as well as in the Upanishads also. Now, Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Jiva is only Brahman, and he is not different from the Paramatman. Right, sir. This is on the basis of this we look at the Bhagavatam, Sreemad Bhagavatam, and then we will see, in fact, the Upanishadic truths have been given so easily, so nicely in Sreemad Bhagavatam for our benefit. Now, as I said, when the Jiva reaches Paramatma through the knowledge, then he becomes one and oneself, Paramatman himself. This Nishkala Swarupa Apatti Brahma Sampatti has been given. Sampadyamana Majnaya Bhishmam Brahmani Nishkale Sarve Babhuvaste Tushnim Vayam Sevadinatyaya. Sampadyamana Majnaya, the Bhishma Acharya, who had got the privilege of telling you the Vishnu Sahasranama also to you. Not only Vishnu Sahasranama, he had told the whole of the Anushanasanika Parva. Various dharmas he told. Dharmaraja, at the end of the great Kurukshetra war, he was so much depressed after the war. In the beginning, he was always had a thing that I should win. I should win with the ahankara. Yes, I should conquer my brothers who had cheated me right from the very beginning. Yes, he had it. Lord help him. Finally, he finds himself. What is that? A depressed soul. It's because of my one single wish that I should become the king, emperor for all this whole world. I am responsible for killing so many people. Not only human beings, how many elephants, how many horses, how much men, all these things have been lost. The whole economy of the country has been shattered. It is by my single wish. So I am responsible for all those things. Let me go to the Paramatman and ask him take his refuge. He goes to the Paramatma and asks him, Sir, my mind doesn't take rest. Kindly teach me something. Paramatma says, come on. You come along with me. I'll take to you the one Bhishmacharya. He is really a Bhishma. He had the full experience in the world. Then we will take him. Then we find, yes, the devotion of Bhishma is so great. But none saw that devotion of the Paramatma up to that moment in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Sri Bharata. From the very beginning, you go on reading the Bharatam, you will find only at this place you find the devotion of the Bhishma here to the towards the Lord. And finally, he taught the Vishnu Sahasranama after teaching Stri Dharma, Raja Dharma, Vyavahara Dharma, all those things. For 30 days continuously he taught. And finally he asked one question. What is that one question Dharmaraja asked? Kimekam daivatam loke kimvapyekam parayinam. There are a set of 6 questions, out of which one question has been dealt with so clearly, so elaborately. And what is that kimekam daivatam loke? And finally he says, savakkakim yattat padamanuttamam yaha yat. That is ekavachana. Ekaha. Kaha means ekaha there. Ye has been to be taken. That's why kasmai namaha you say. If it is kaha, kaya namaha you should say. In Sanskrit, the word ramaya, if it is akaranta, it should be ramaya. But we say kasmai namaha. Why? Because there is one ye which is before that ka. So ye kasmai namaha. The question is, kimekam daivatam loke. The answer is eka. What is this? Question and answer are one and the same. Yes. When you reach the ultimate, there is no question, no answer, no guru, no shishya, na shishyo, na shiksha, na shastram. It is that stage in which he was teaching Vishnu Sahasranama. And finally, the final nama is Sarva Praharana Yudhaha. Sarva Praharana Yudhaha. Before that, Radhangapani Ratshobhyaha. Sarva Praharana Yudhaha. This Radhangapani has got a very, very peculiar connotation. When Bhishma was fighting on the last day, Lord, actually what he did, he came down from the chariot and wanted to take his wheel so that he can actually kill Bhishma. That is not his intention. He just came down acting as though he is angry. Then the Chakrayudha has come to his hands automatically. And Lord Bhishma, what he said, he thought, let this scene appear to me at the time of my death. And that's why Lord remembered that. Any wish that you don't even explicitly request, Lord knows. Because he is Antaratma Drik. You will find in Nakallu Gopika Nandanaha, Gopi say, Nakallu Gopika Nandano Krishna, Akhila Dehinam Krishna Antaratma Drik. He is the Antaratma Drik, which Upanishad say, Na drishtair dashtaram pasyehe. Nanyyotosti drashta, nanyyotosti manta, nanyyotosti vijñata. This is what the gopis say. Do you mean as a gopi? Or the author Vyasacharya, who has written Brahma Sutras, he is talking through them. Gopis are merely different parts in a drama like that. But it's the Vyasacharya telling you the sukshma portions, the very subtle portions of the Upanishads, as Nakallo Dehinam, Akhila Dehinam Antaratma Drik. You are the Drik, you are the real seer, as propounded in the Upanishads. I don't mean anything less to the gopis. Their bhakti is something more than the highest form of bhakti. The Nishkanchana bhakti they had, that is how they have been portrayed. They are not pandits, they are not knowers of the Upanishads, but by the grace of the divine, they had the experience of the divine. They could experience the Ananda, the Mokshananda, Brahmananda, by whom? It's because of the grace of the Paramatman they had. So now we find Lord Bhishma, when he actually left his body, he had joined with the Paramatma. He says, Bhishme Brahmani Nishkale Sarve Babhuvustushnim Vayamsi Vadinatyaye. Like that. Similarly, you have in another place, Savaikilayam Purusha Puratanaha Yayeka Yese Asit Avishesha Atmani Agre Gunebhya Jagadatmanishware Nimilitatmanishi Supti Shaktishu Savaikilayam Purushaha. It is this Purusha. Who is that? Yayeka Asid Avishesha Atmani. Yayekaha Asid. He alone existed. Avisheshaha, with no special properties. Agre Gunebhya, before all this Prakriti. before the gunas. He alone, nimilitatmanite supta shaktishu, tadijan bhagavan rajan, eka atma atmanam swadruk, antaro nantaro bhati, pasyatvam mayaya urudha, tadijam bhagavan rajan. Hey Rajan, tadijam bhagavan. In the Naimisharanya Upakhyana, you have this sloka. That is 13th section of the first book, book, skanda you have. Yadi tadijam bhagavan rajan, eka atma atmanam swadruk. He is only one atma. Atmanam, he is in the hearts of all the people, and he alone is self-effulgent. Swaprakasha, swadruk. Antaraha anantaro bhati. He is inside, appears to be as outside also. Sabhahyabhyantaro hyajaha, Mundakopaniषद says. That has been given here. Pasyatvam mayaya urudha. And then this Paramatma is Purna. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. This has been given in you the second skanda, sixth book as Vishuddham Kevalam Jnanam Pratyaksam Yak Avasthitam Satyam Purnamanadyantam Nirgunam Nityamadvayam Vishuddham, pure. And then Kevalam, without any properties, Jnanam Satyak Samyak Pratyak Samyak Avasthitam. He is in your heart, he is inside your Pratyagatma. Paroksham is a parag, outside. Pratyagatma is within you. Satyam Purnam Anadyantam. No beginning, no end to him. Your bodies come and go. He continues to be in the same form. Nirgunam Nityamadvayam. Like that you have. Similarly, in the second chapter, second book, when all the avatara charitras have been explained, you have a very beautiful sloka. Shashvat prasantam abhayam pratibodha matram Shuddham samam sadasata paramatma tattvam Sabdo nayatra purushaka purakarakavan kriyarthaha Maya paretya bhimukitocha vilajjamana Shashvat prasantam abhayam. That nature of the Paramatma is Shashvata, ever existing. Prashanta. It's like the Pacific Sea, the sea inside, in the middle. No waves as you find in the beach. Prashantam amalam abhayam pratibodha matram. That is the form of the Paramatma. Pratibodha matram. In the Kena Upanishad, you have a sloka that the Paramatma is pratibodha viditam matam amrutatvam hi vindate. Atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate amrutam pratibodha vidita. He is known by every thought. When a thought arises, similarly you will find that has been lighted by the Paramatman inside. So this concept of pratibodha vidita is sakshi of every thought that every individual has been given here as pratibodha matram. Shuddham samam sadasata paramatma sattvam. He is common to everything. Samam. The same Paramatma resides in a poor person, it resides in a rich person also. He is equally in a small child, he is equally in the old person. He is both in a male as well as in a female. You can't find any difference between him. Shantam, Shuddham, Samam, Sadasata, Paramatma Tattvam. Can you say it is Satta Rasat? No. It is, you can't term him as Satta Rasat. So that is why when in the Gita he says, you can't say Sadasad Vilashat Nasattanna Saduchyate. You can't him as Sat or Asat. He is something above all those things. Where all the vyavaharas, all speech, where it ends, you have the experience. Shabdo na yatra purukarakavan kriyartaha maya paretya bhimukecha vilajjamana. This has been given in the Kena Upanishad. Amrutatvam pratibodha vidamatram amrutatvam hi vindate. This has been given to you by this sloka in this Sreemad Bhagavad Gita. Then, in Chatushloki Bhagavata, the whole Bhagavata has been summarized into 4 slokas in the Dvitiya Skanda, 9th chapter. You have Ahameva Asamevagraha Nanyada Yas Asadasat Param Paschadaham Yadetacha Yovashishyata soksmyaham ahameva ekaveva agre. In the beginning of all these words, I alone existed. Nanyat yat sadasatatmakam. Either sat or sat, nothing existed. Paschadaham yadetacha. When all these things are destroyed or taken back by me, Yovashishyeta sosmyaham, I alone will remain. All these things will go away. They will be merged into me. So the teaching of Upanishads, Adeva Somya Idamagra said, has been given here. Rutertham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta jatmani tadvidyat atmano mayam yatha bhasa yatha tamaha. It is because of this maya that I am being seen by many people as in different ways. Rutiyartham, when I am not there, all these things will not exist. This is by Anvaya Vyatireka you will see. Now, you made bangle by the gold. Now, can bangle exist without gold? Never. The bangle is nothing but gold. You can't separate gold from the bangle. If by chance do it, there is no bangle at all. So whatever you see is nothing but Paramatman. Rutertham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta jatmani, he says. Yatha mahanti bhutani bhuteshu ucchavateshvanu pravishtani apravishtani tatha teshu na tesmyaham. Yatha mahanti bhutani, all these 5 great elements, ether, vayu, fire, water, and all these things, the earth, etc., all these things, bhuteshu ucchavateshvanu, they reside in every individual. Our body is made up of these 5 great elements. Then all these elements, they are in the Paramatman, and Paramatma inside this. All the 5 elements are with us in our body, and Paramatma has entered our body. If he doesn't appear there, these things will not work. Remember, your eyes will not see, your ears will not hear. It is because of that current, that Shakti inside, the Paramatma Shakti, that you are able to do all those things in these worlds. When he just switches off, nothing will work, sir. When there is no current, your grinder will not work, your mixie will not work, your light will not work. It is because of the energy, that Shakti with him, and that Maya Shakti he is holding it unto himself. If it is just switched off, nothing will work. So Paramatma is inside us, and he is holding everything. Because it came from the Paramatman, all the Panchabhutas, and Paramatman is inside itself. How is it possible? Upanishad says, Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam sarva bhutani chatmani sampasyan atmaya jaivai. Like that. Similarly, yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva nupasyati sarva bhuteshu chatmanam natato vijugupsate. The Ishavasya says, Sarva bhutani yastu sarvani bhutani atmanyeva nupasyati. All these 5 elements, all things are within me. And it is the Paramatman who is inside everything. And that's why you will find a direct meaning of the Upanishads that have been taken in the Sreemad Bhaagavatam. Yetavadeva jigyasyam tattva jignasunatmanaha Anvaya Vyatirekaabhyam yasyat sarvatra sarvada etavadeva jignasyam. Only up to this you should know. Nothing more. Just remember, sir, you have computer, because I am giving this example because many people know that. When it came beginning, there was only MS-DOS. And then afterwards C came, C plus came, you have now Windows have come. Similarly, every day Java, all those things, the more and more they go on changing languages, they are going on changing it. And the professional in the computer science, he says, I have to go on learning it. If I am not ahead with them, that I will be thrown away. There's no end for it. Similarly, you take up physics. At one time they said atom is indivisible. Another time they said yes, it could be divided. They have succeeded in dividing it. There is an electron, proton, etc. Then they once again divided the electron. They got some other thing. Similarly, it goes on, research is going on. There's no end for it. And these people, physicists said, light travels in waves. in straight lines, they said. After some time, some 20 or 50 years later, they said, no, it moves in waves. Afterwards, they said, no, sir, some race goes in the race and some race, they go in the waves. What do you say? There is no end for the knowledge in the different branches. But here he says, knowing this, you know everything. Knowing Paramatman, you know everything. Because he is the summum bonum of all those things. He is the substance. All these things appear to be different, but the real truth is the Paramatman. When you know him, all of the things are known as Vyavaharika. They appear. This is the only truth. That's why he says, Etavadeva jignasyam tattva jignasunatmanaha anvaya vyatirekabhyam yatsyat sarvatra sarvada. There is a story given in Upanishads. In Chandogya Upanishad, there was a boy called Shvetaketu. He was not put in the school up to 12 years. Very strange. In those days, the moment a boy comes to 5th year or 8th year maximum, he will be given Upanayana and will be put into the Pathasala to learn Vedas. Ashtavarsham Brahmanam Upanayita Tamadhyapayita. This was the system then. But this boy somehow or other did not go to school up to 12 years. Then one day his father came and said, how is it that you are not going to school? He is asking me. And he said, no. Navai asmat kule jataha brahmabandhuriva bhavati. He who is born in our clan can never be says that I am a relative to the Brahma. You should read all the Vedas. So he took the words of the father, went to Gurukula. The Guru himself had did the Upanayana and taught him. And this boy learnt all those things, all 4 Vedas, Shastras, etc. for 12 years. And he returned to his home after finishing the whole learning at his 24th year. By God's grace, father was there on that day when he came home. Then the father saw the boy, but he was very much depressed by looking at him, because the teaching, the learning, the education should change the character of the individual. That is the education we have in our system. You read Bhagavata, you should know how to surrender to the Lord. If we just want to give you the meaning of the Bhagavata, no use, sir. That is a university professor, that's all. A person who actually learns Bhagavata, reads Bhagavata, should transform himself. Yes, he alone is the truth. I am a Nishkinchana. That bhava should come to you. If that doesn't come to you, reading of Bhagavata will not do you good. But this boy, with his head above, he came. His father was very much depressed and told him, my dear boy, how is it that you are very proud and walking like this? I don't find any vinaya in you. Vidya dadati vinayam. It should give you humility. You are not humble. How is it? Did you learn from your teacher that learning one thing, every other thing is known? Did you learn that? Father says. Then this boy says, no. How is it possible? If you read Tarka Shastra, only Tarkam will come to you. If you read Vyakarana, only grammar will come to you. If you learn Purvamimamsa, only that alone will be known to you. How is it knowing one thing, every other thing will be known? I don't find it. Then he says, then he gives you the example as the golden ball, when it has been made into different ornaments, everything is gold. By knowing gold, you know all those things. By learning the clay, one clay of mud, do you find all things made, parts, etc., are nothing but clay. Similarly, the whole world has come from the Paramatman. When you know the Paramatman, every other thing is not different from the Paramatman. It is only his Leela. It is only his different forms. This has been given there. That means Here what you say? Etavadeva jignasyam. The only one thing that you learn in your birth, in the whole of your life, is Paramatman alone. Nothing more than. I don't ask you to read physics, chemistry, etc., etc. Those may be useful for you to lead your lives, but to stop your life, to be one with the Paramatman, you should read only one thing and nothing more than that. That which in Bhagavata says, Etavadeva jignasyam. Now, a question comes, you say Bhagavatma, Paramatma is without shape, without any qualities, etc., etc. But how are you going to talk about Paramatman? Brahman kadam bhagavataha chinmatrasya avikarinaha leelaya vapi yujyeran nirgunasya gunakriyaha kadam bhagavataha chinmatrasya avikarinaha. He is only in the form of consciousness. It doesn't undergo any change. But how is it that you are going to talk about him? If you want to talk about him, you should tell any guna, any property in him, any quality in him, any jati residing in him. But it doesn't have any jati, any guna, any kriya. How are you going to talk about him? He says, how the Upanishads are going to do. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. Even all our sense organs, they fail to tell him what is what, how is his nature. Right, don't worry, sir. His pure form, you will not be able to talk about him, but he has taken you different avataras. Sopadhika form. Through that Sopadhika Brahman, you will be able to understand the final form that he has given. Then, we say Jiva and Paramatma are identical. How is it? In Bhagavata he says, Bhagavan ekaye vaisha sarvakshetreshvavastitaha amushya durbhagatvam va klesho va karma bhikvataha. Bhagavan ekaye vaisha, there is only one Paramatman here. Sarvakshetreshu avastitaha. He is residing in all beings. In Bhagavad Gita here, kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarvakshetreshu bharata. I am the one person who is residing in the hearts of all these people. So, even though I reside, I am not tainted by their happiness or by their all other problems. Worries, miseries we have, but I am not tainted, sir. I never undergo any connection with them. Yadarthena vina pumso mrushaiva atma viparyayaha pratiyeta upadrashtuhu swashiracchedanaadinaha yadajale janramasaha kampadistat gunaha drishyate asannapidrashtuhu atmano anatmano gunaha. It's like that he is just as a man sees himself beheaded in his dream. All these things are nothing but an illusion that you find. But in the dream you see many things. I'll ask you one single question. You see things, you went to sleep, switching off all the lights, is it not? Let us say that you are going to sleep in the night. What you do, sir? You arrange your bed, you take some glass of water beneath you, so your sleep should not be obstructed. You light the mosquito coil there. You put the fan in the optimum speed. So you want to be not disturbed in the sleep. So something very nice experience you are getting in your sleep. So you want to continue in the sleep, but suddenly you have switched off everything. Even the small zero lamp light also you have switched off, or at least the current went off. Okay. Now, it is a dark Amavasya night. Suddenly a dream comes to you. You saw elephants, etc., this and that, very nicely in the dream. You are very happy. And you go out and see many people are moving in the bright sunlight. This all you saw in the dream. Very nice. Then next day morning, you come and explain to me all those things. I saw this, I saw that. A king was going in a procession on an elephant. The elephant was nicely decorated, etc. Very nice. I just put a simple question. When did you dream? He says, night 11:30 or 12 o'clock. Nice. Right. You saw all these objects very clearly, is not? Yes, sir. Very clearly. Was there light? Yes. It was bright light. I saw in the sunlight, right. Where was sun there at light 11:30? There was no moon at all because it's an Amavasya day. There was no electricity. But you say all those things, you saw all those things very nicely in bright sunlight. How is it possible? How that poor fellow will explain. He can't explain. He can only say, I saw, that's all. It is not a false statement, it is a true statement. He saw, but in which light he saw? You just tell me. Yes, it is the light of all lights that is inside your heart. Taddeva jyotisham jyotihi ayurho pasate mrutam tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvavidam vibhati. This has been given in Bhagavata as Rupam yat tat prahuravyaktamadhyam brahmajyotir nirgunam nirvikaram sattamatram nirvishesham niriham Sattvam Sakshat Vishnu Radhyatma Deepaha. You are Sattvam Vishnu Radhyatma Deepaha. Mother Devaki says, the gods say this, yes. Sattvam Rupam Yattat Prahur Avyakta Madhyam. Your form is nothing but the beginning Avyakta. Brahma Jyotihi in the form of Jyotis, form of light. More than that I can't explain with these words. Nirgunaha Nirvikaram. Satta matram nirvishesham. It's only pure satta, pure existence. You can't adduce any other property to that Brahman. Nirvishesham niriham sattvam sakshat Vishnu radhyatma deepaha. Similarly, in the 11th book, the Pipalayana says, Naitan mano vinasati vaguta chakshuratma Pranendriyani cha yatha nijamachishasvaha Shabdopi bodhaka nishedhatayatma moolam Arthoktamaha yadratena nishedha siddhihi Naitan mano vishati. My mind fails to catch you. Mind has to have some alambana, then only it will catch the object. My mind is not able to catch you. Why to tell me about other sense organs? Yato vacho nivartante na sandrushe tishtati rupamasya na chakshusha pasyati kaschanainam. Rupam, the form of the Paramatman, is not in the field of my vision, so my eyes are not able to see you. It is not in the field of my hearing, so my ears fail to hear you. Similarly, all the sense organs, they fail to catch him. What about your mind also? It also goes. So, Shabdo Tibodhaka Nishedhatayatma Moolam. Even the Vedic Upanishad sentences, they only stop by saying, yes, Adresyam, Agrahyam, Neti Neti. It is not this, not this, not this. When you go on rejecting this and this, everything, finally where you land in the substratum. Because whenever I say not this, that means there is some other thing. Is there part here? You say no, there is no part. But what is there? Another question comes to you. There is only the surface of the earth. Whenever you say not this, there should be something remaining there, over which you can say not this. Similarly, when the whole world has been rejected, everything is rejected, finally there remains one thing which you call sarvatma, sarva, substratum, adhishtanam, mithya jagadadhishtana, muktida mukti rupini. That mithya jagat adhisthana, that is the Paramatman. Shabdo vibodhakataya nishedhatayatma moolam arthoktamaha yadrite nanishedha siddhihi. Finally you have one shloka. The jiva, when he reaches the ultimate experiences, the experience of the Paramatma, his subtle body breaks. Already his ajnana has been taken out, removed, destroyed. His gross body falls because the prarabdha karma has ended. Then what happens? Here itself he becomes one with the Paramatman. As the part, when it breaks, the space into the part merges with the space outside. Similarly, when the jiva actually undergoes the experience of the Paramatman. There is no jiva in him. The jiva has become, jivatva of the jiva has gone. This has been beautifully explained in the Bhagavatam as Ghate bhinne yatha akashaha akashasya yatha pura evam dehe mruto jivaha brahma sampadyate punaha. When part breaks, this also breaks. The akasha becomes one. Similarly, he becomes one. Finally, we have found that all the words of the Upanishads have been given very nicely in Sreemad Bhagavata. Only thing is, we must go through word by word under the holy feet of a competent guru for both the learning the Upanishad truths as well as Sreemad Bhagavatam. And all these three, there is one very beautiful work which is summary of Bhagavata as Narayaniyam. In the first sloka itself, he merges both the Upanishad sentences as well as the Lord Krishna, Lord Vasudeva before him, as Sandra Anandavabodhatmakam anupamitam kaladeshavadibhyam nirmuktam nityamuktam nigamachata sahasrena nirbhasyamanam aspashtam spashtamatre punarurupurusharthatmakam brahmatattvam tattavadbhati sakshat guru pavanapure hanta bhagyam jananam. It is the bhagya of all these people who have assembled here. These people, the good things of all these people, virtues of all these people, the punya of all these people have joined together to make us the Brahman who is without form, who cannot be apprehended by your sense organs and manas, etc. He took a form and is residing in Guruvayur, very near that. That's why you find the Upanishadic truths are very well explained in the Srimad Bhagavata, and the time is very constrained. Within 1 hour, it's not possible to do much justice for that, because the Upanishads also are endless. And about Bhagavatam, you know, so many 24,000 slokas. And every sloka you have all those, the touch of the Upanishads. Let us prostrate to the feet of the Lord Krishna, and we'll see this at a future time. Thank you very much for the patient hearing.